What's going on, team, and welcome back to another episode of the AT Fit podcast. This one's been a while, a long time in the making. I basically uprooted my life and moved over to the other side of the world, so hence why I had a little bit of personal sort of stuff to figure out. Episode 6, I believe, episode 6. So last episode we talked about losing fat, burning fat, and being able to get a little bit leaner. This episode, we're going to do the flip side. We're going to go building muscle, getting yoked, getting jacked and tan. For those of you that know me, I don't think I'll be able to give you any pointers about how to get tanned, but getting jacked, I know some stuff about, and I'll be able to shed my 2 pence on it anyway. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Muscle building. Let's get fucking yoked. So, a few ways. Obviously, you can cause hypertrophy, all right, or muscle building. Obviously, we need something I'm going to touch upon straight away is rest. We need to be able to rest to be able to get bigger, to be able to get better. If we don't rest, then we're not going to recover. So rest is always important. And if you are a newbie and haven't trained before and you're new to the gym, then I'd suggest 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week in the gym, and that's it. Rest in the other days. Another one is calorie surplus. All right, do you have to be in a calorie surplus to build muscle? Not necessarily. Again, it depends on your training age, so how long you've been training for. But it helps, especially for people that have been training for a good number of years. You're probably not going to be in a stage where you can do a body recomposition, especially if you've not returning from an injury or returning from a period of time where you've taken some time off. So you're going to need to eat more calories than you're burning on a day-to-day basis or on a week-to-week basis. That's not hard. I know all the quote-unquote hard gainers in the world will say it's hard to gain weight and it's hard to eat. I think that's bollocks. I really do. I think it's very easy to gain weight, and if you genuinely wanted to and weren't bothered about putting on a tiny bit of fat here, there, and everywhere, then you would gain weight. I'm known for my shakes. So any clients that struggle with gaining weight, I'll give them a shake, where it's whole milk. Obviously, if you're not lactose intolerant. All right, it's whole milk, it's oats, it's bananas, it's peanut butter, it's protein, and you can put some honey in there as well to sweeten it up, and you blend that puppy up, and there you go. Depending on obviously the amount of ingredients you've put in, you're looking between 1,000 and 1,500 calories in a shake. You do that twice a day. That's pushing 3,000 calories already consumed on top of food and on top of the other stuff. So if you are a quote unquote hard gainer and say you struggle to gain weight, then just get eating and get a little bit wiser with the food choices that you are making, and choose those food choices that are calorically dense, like nuts, for example. Anyway, I've gone off on a tangent yet again, like you know. So calorie surplus. Something that does help in muscle building and hypertrophy is mechanical tension. All right, it sounds like a fancy term. Basically, it's how much stress and tension the body is under. So if I picked up a heavy ass sandbag and walked with it, then my body's going to be under stress. It's going to be under load. That will be obviously an isometric contraction. Like I'm not moving. Well, my legs would be if I'm walking with it, but my upper body wouldn't be moving. It would just be holding onto the sandbag. And then you can do a concentric. So obviously where the muscle belly is shortening or the muscle fibers are shortening, and then eccentric where it's the opposite, where they're lengthening. And all those you can place load on the body and on the system and place a little bit of mechanical tension. The best one, arguably, for building muscle would be the eccentric phase. So basically slowing down the phase where the muscle fibers are lengthening. So if it's on a squat, it will be sitting down into the hole. If it's on a bench press, it'll be lowering the bar onto your chest. If it was on a bicep curl, it'll be lowering the weight back down. and if to be able to slow that down can cause a lot of damage to the muscle, and obviously more damage. Not necessarily more damage means more gains, but more damage is the higher potential for growth. If your sole purpose is building muscle, obviously we've got the obvious one of obviously we've got the obvious one. We've got volume. Okay, so volume can be created by a few ways. We've got a number of sets. All right, so if you did 3 sets of 3 one week, you can do 4 sets of 3 the next week. Or you can do the reps. So if you did 3 sets of 3, you could do 3 sets of 4 or 3 sets of 5, and that way. And obviously the combination of the two. But we also have something that isn't touched upon, that is frequency. So if you look at squatting, for example, obviously it will depend on the intensity of your squats. If you are going for 80% or above, or even like 70% on some people, because that can tax the untrained population, of based off your 1 rep max, of course. We're looking at how many times a week you squat. So if you're looking at to increase your squat or to increase your legs, the size of your legs, then squatting from once a week to twice a week might be a good idea. You've not increased the number of volume per session, but because you've added a second session, your weekly volume has gone up and it's increased. So that's another way of doing it with frequency and spreading it out over a week, and instead of trying to absolutely wreck yourself in a single session. Something that a lot of beginners do, and I was definitely guilty of it when I first started training, was I'd go into the gym and I wouldn't leave until I was absolutely broken. And is that a good way of doing it when it comes to building muscle? Probably not. Just because I completely destroyed myself doesn't mean I'm going to get bigger than I would have done if I'd have gone in and worked upon the stimulus that I needed to hit that day. But does it develop mental toughness and being able to push past pain barriers? Yes, it does. So there's positives and negatives in that. The positives obviously are going to be the psychological benefit, being able to push through a limit where your body perceives that you can't go any further, and also there's going to be a negative benefit of you might end up injuring yourself. Of course, you might push yourself way too hard and go and overreach and go way too far. When we talk about muscle building, I can't ignore the fact of this genetic limit or this genetic potential or all that. And to be honest with you, I don't know a great deal about it. I'm not a scientist. I don't know a great deal about whether the body has a genetic potential, and I believe it probably does. And you can't just keep gaining size and gaining tissue or gaining strength until we die. Like, that's not how the body works. But everyone's potential is going to be different, and I think if we automatically think, oh, I'm not gaining size because I'm at my genetic potential, then you're just looking for an easy way out, in my opinion. I think there's always ways you can improve your lifestyle. There's always ways you can improve your recovery, your training. Different studies coming out showing different better ways of training, better ways of recovering, better ways of eating, better ways of sleeping. Even it weren't too long ago. It was only 11 years ago when I started training, and no one talked about sleep. Everyone talked about wreck yourself in the gym, eat as much as you can, and you'll get big. Very, very few would be like, oh, sleep this number of times, and you want to make sure you get some REM sleep, and you got to look at the mattress and the fucking pillow that you're sleeping on and all that sort of stuff, and your hydration. It's basically drink as much as you can, eat as much as you can, and work out until you want to die. And obviously we've progressed so much further from there. But I think if we just pin our lack of progress on the genetic potential card, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. We really need to strip everything down and look at it objectively instead of subjectively. Take all the emotion out of it and just think, right, okay, what am I doing right, and what can I improve on, and which is everything. Even if you're doing it right, you can improve on it. But what am I doing horribly wrong, and break it down. Sometimes you can break it down to the numbers and see if you are in a calorie surplus. If, say, for example, you've been gaining and losing weight for the past 5 years, and you started and you were 50 kilos and now you're 70 kilos, and you're relatively the same level of leanness from 50 to 70 kilos in those 5 years. Obviously, that's a massive gain of 20 kilos, but this is just an example. Then your 70 kilo frame is going to need to consume more calories than your 50 kilo frame. That's just obvious. Like, there's more tissue on your body that's going to be craving more energy and going to be needed more energy. And obviously you talk about the whole steroids sort of topic. And again, this one I'm not too educated on. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not too educated. I like to stay quite ignorant to the whole fact. Yes, there are people that are on steroids, and that's absolutely fine. If you choose to do so, then crack on. Obviously, if you're in a sport where you sign on a dotted line saying no, I do not take performance enhancing drugs and have done, then that's when you're a scumbag, because you are taken away from people that will sacrifice time with their family and time with their very close friends and sacrifice a lot of their life to be able to compete at that high level. But if you're just a recreational gym goer, or you don't necessarily, or you compete in an untested federation, and you want to take PEDs or performance enhancing drugs or steroids or whatever you want to call it, then fucking go for it. Not a problem. And that's when you can go past, quote unquote, your genetic potential. That's when you can recover a little bit quicker. That's what allows you to gain size when you're on stuff, is recovering a little bit quicker, so your overall frequency and your volume can go up. It's not just I'll pop this pill or I'll inject this in my ass and I'll double in size and my strength will go up overnight. Like, you've still got to put in the fucking work, and it's still commendable that these guys and girls still put in the work and get the results that they have. Just because they've just because they might have took some drugs to help them out to reach that stage doesn't mean they've not put in the work. There's only a problem in my eyes when you take it away from people that are clean, and you do compete in a league or a sport or a competition that is tested, and you kind of try and get a way around it and try and cheat. You'd be pissed if you played poker in the local casino and someone cheated you and you lost a load of money. You'd be fucking pissed. It's the same thing. Like, you'd be pissed if you lost the competition and you lost out on $5,000. It's the same. You're stealing money from people's livelihoods, so it's not fair, really. But again, if you want to take some rides to get yoked, fine, fucking go for it. I'm not the guy to come to, because I can't speak from experience. I've never done any of that stuff, and I've not known people that are super close to me, and I've like completely studied how they did it properly. Like, that's not. I mean, if you want to do it, fine, whatever. It doesn't really bother me. I've not sat you down and sort of interrogated you and found out the best ways to do it. And to be honest with you, I've not done my research either. So if you do wanted to do it, then make sure you've done your research and you do it in a healthy or the healthiest way you can, the safest way you can. One thing I would say, if you are just trying to get yoked and you're a young lad or a young lady and you just want to build some size, and you're under the age of 21 and you want to pop some pills, then you're a fucking idiot. Eat your food, sleep, and train hard. That's all you need to do, and enjoy the lifestyle and enjoy the journey. If you want to skip steps, then that's when you ain't going to end up fucking yourselves over. Especially lads, because we obviously physically mature for a lot longer than women do. So if we want to try and mess that up, then we could potentially fuck up our future, biologically speaking. So I would suggest go to someone that knows what they're doing. Weight, you're not going to pop it in the first 3 years of training. Like you know nothing about it. You're still greasing the groove and learning the skill. Like it's learning the skill of the moves. Like a squat is a skill, a deadlift is a skill, a bench press is a skill. Just like a muscle up is a skill. Just like walking on your hands is a skill. Just like badminton is a skill. Like it's all stuff that you need to learn. You need to create those pathways neurologically to be able to do that. That skill, that movement, that sport. So it's just developing that and getting pretty fucking strong in it. The easiest way of getting size as a newbie is train whole body. 3 times a week, train your whole body. Do your squats, your deadlifts, your overhead presses, your bench presses, your pull-ups, your dips, your body weight stuff. Occasionally throw in some accessory stuff. Lunge. So you're working unilaterally instead of just bilaterally all the time. Do some single arm overhead press. Do some single arm bench press. Do some single arm bent over rows. Maybe use the cables if you need to, but not necessarily vital. A lot of free weights will get you there, especially if you are completely new. And then obviously work on your mobility, make sure that stays. So when you gain size or you start getting a little bit tighter, then make sure your mobility stays. That's one thing. If I could go back and slap my younger self in the face, I'd say, "Oh, you couldn't do your stretches, and make sure you do your mobility every single day." Because I did play a sport. I played rugby union, and it was a lot of contact, and my body is feeling it now. Still, and I've not played rugby in 6-7 years, and I'm still feeling repercussions from playing that and not looking after my body too well, which just goes back to lack of education. But you guys now, like everything is available to you. I mean, you're listening to me now. You could be at the shops. You could be working out. You could be laying on your couch watching Netflix. But you can listen to this piece of information. So a lot of it is just educating yourself. Yeah, I'm going back to what I was saying about the newbies. So eat, train whole body movements 3 times a week. Sleep like a motherfucking king or queen. Like just go to sleep. You produce natural growth hormone, so HGH, human growth hormone, twice a day. Once after you work out and once when you're sleeping. So I believe it's in REM sleep, but don't quote me on that. To be honest, I'm not a sleep. Well, obviously, I'm not a sleep expert, and I've not looked into it too much. So don't quote me on that one. But sleep like a king, eat like a queen, or the other way around: sleep like a queen, eat like a king. Whatever you like. Train like a motherfucking beast, but make sure you are training correctly. Get a coach if you need to. Get a trainer if you need to. Get some mates, do a paper round, get some mates, chip in together so you end up paying £2 a frigging session and get a trainer. Or head down to your local CrossFit box. They should have some CrossFit teens or CrossFit kids on. Or if that's not your style, cool, then go, get a buddy, watch some YouTube videos, get a buddy, go to the local commercial gym and start training. There's a PTs there, and if you ask them questions, they should tell you the answer. They should be willing to help you. At the end of the day, like, you getting injured in their gym does not look good on them. If they give you a piece of information that's free and they never get any money from you, I guarantee you're going to be good publicity for them. So you're going to talk about them in a good light. If you turn to them and said, "Look, I've never bench pressed before. Do you mind if you show me how to do this, or can you just help me doing this?" And they say, "It's my job to teach that. So that's going to be £20." And it's a tricky one. I've worked in that industry, and the amount of people that have come up to me for free shit is fucking ridiculous. If I charged 50p for the amount of information I've given out to people when they've asked for it, never mind when they've not asked for it, I'd be a very, very rich man. It's fucking ridiculous. But at the end of the day, like, whether it's 1, 2, 5, 10, or 20 years down the line, they're going to remember that, and they're going to push people towards you that are going to pay. So a lot of it is just branding. You are a brand, as a trainer, as a coach. And if you don't want to help people and you're just in it for the money, I get it. I get it, guys. Like, I get it that you need to eat and you need to put food on your table and keep a roof over your head. I fucking get that. I've been at the place where I've not known where my next meal is going to come from, and that's not a nice place to be. But at the end of the day, your love for this job should not be reduced from the shit financial situation you're in. So if people just need a little bit of coaching and just say, look, can you just give me a couple of cues on a bench press or a squat, and you just spend less than 5 minutes with them, I guarantee you that's going to come back round and that's going to help you out. I'm not talking like you don't have to give them an hour's PT, because that is taking time out of your day. And if someone is paying for your time and someone's asked you, then obviously the person who's paying has priority. I'm just saying, if you're sat around with your thumb in your ass and there's a 14-year-old lad or there's a 14-year-old woman who wants to work out and you can physically see them lifting like shit, get up off your ass, go over and help them. And if they turn around to you and blatantly ignore you or tell you to fuck off, then fine, you've done everything you can in that sense. But don't just allow poor form to crack on, especially in the youth population. Like, they're still growing, for Christ's sake. It's bad enough adults getting injured. I don't want to see any kids getting injured. Again, second tangent of the same episode. I do apologise. Okay, so a little bit of a recap with the whole muscle building thing, or the whole getting fucking yoked. Mechanical tension, all right, especially that eccentric phase, so that lowering phase, the downward on the squat, or the lowering of the weight on a bicep curl, or the lowering the bar onto the chest on the bench press. Volume, total volume. That can be frequency, that can be sets, or that can be reps, or that can be all three. I wouldn't necessarily say go all three to start off with, because if you increase all three and then you still plateau after a period of time, then where are you going to go? You're going to go all three again. You're going to do every session in the gym is 3 hours long, and you're going to do 2 a days. Like, you're going to have no time to even shake your dick. So start off like sets, reps, or frequency. And then also calorie surplus. All right, so eat your goddamn food. Don't tell me you can't gain weight because you can't eat enough. Don't, like, I can't give you an answer without it not being PG. That's fucking ridiculous in my opinion. So get some goddamn food in you. And then the last one, rest. Rest. So important. Breathe. What am I on about? Sleep. Chill out. Rest. Lower everything down. Lower your cortisol. Stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system so your body is in a relaxed state so it can recover. Get a massage if you can afford it and like it. Go to the sauna. Go in a steam room. Go for some, active recovery. Chill out. Lie down. Go for a nap. Sleep. All these things. Lower your caffeine intake. All these things will help you relax, stimulate that parasympathetic nerve pathway, and allow you to recover a little bit more. All right, so that is muscle building, episode number 6. So hopefully that helps at least a wee bit, and you can take away some positives into your programming, into your next training session, or it was just nice to hear a northerner go on a couple of tangents and say a couple of cuss bombs. So again, it's been a fucking pleasure. All right, have a great day. Take it easy, and I will see y'all in the next one.